What is happening, everybody? It's the Miami Football Fanatic here again. Happy to have you guys back for another video here. And as you can probably tell, I've definitely upped my my mic game. Audio is going to be much better from now on. Got myself a new mic, so you can expect much better audio from now on. And the days of the terrible crackling and fans in the background are definitely over now. So you can expect much better audio moving forward. Alrighty, so let's get to today's video. So today I just want to talk about why the Dolphins need to be drafting another running back in this year's draft, another dynamic running back to pair with Kenyon Drake. So this coming NFL draft is filled with an absolute plethora of running back talent, and in my opinion, the Dolphins have a great opportunity to pair a dynamic running back with Kenyon Drake. When Drake became the feature back, wow, did he blossom and show what an absolute elite dynamic running back he can be. After Damian Williams went down, Drake was playing pretty much all the running back snaps, and he did an absolute tremendous job, but his usage was, definitely wasn't sustainable. Drake, he certainly was up to it, but showing he could run between the tackles as well as bouncing runs outside. But surprisingly, he showed to be a great pass blocker. He was just absolutely powerful as a run blocker. Pass blocker, and also can make a great impact catching the ball. As we saw many games, he had well over 50 yards receiving. But beyond Kenyon Drake, we have no other solid, talented, dynamic running backs that can take over for Drake if he misses time with injury. Damian Williams, he is solid, but he's not a game changer, and he doesn't display any elite traits that you want from a running back. The same can be said of Sonoris Perry and Davion Smith. Davion Smith, he's got some promise. He looks like a massive back out there, especially the last game of the season against the Bills. Got some playing time there, and he definitely has the look of a NFL running back. Like, he looks huge out there in the field. So hopefully he can make an impact. And Sonoris Perry, I liked what I saw from him as a kick returner. He did have some moments as a running back, but other than that, you can't expect much more from Sonoris Perry. The only thing, in my opinion, that can take this offense to the next level is drafting another dynamic running back in this coming draft. Having that 1-2 punch is exactly what we need. The Saints this year were a completely different team when they drafted Alvin Kamara to pair with Mark Ingram. Granted, their defense was much better, and Drew Brees was his usual Hall of Fame self, just absolutely killing it. I think he had like 4,700 yards passing, but without Kamara, there is no way they would have enjoyed as much success as they did during the season and the playoffs. Same can be said of the Falcons. Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman pairing does wonders for their offense. Both running backs are incredibly explosive and can get it done in many ways on the field, as we saw especially in the 2016 season when their offense was absolutely dynamic, with Kyle Shanahan calling the plays and Matt Ryan winning MVP that year. So that's just a prime example of what an offense can be if you have two world beaters at running back that can kill it out there on the field. And I think the Falcons got Coleman and Freeman in the third round, so there is all kinds of great running backs you can get in the draft. Doesn't have to be in the first or second round. There's a number of guys in this year's class that we can draft and pair with Drake. My favorite running back beyond the first round prospects is Ronald Jones out of USC. It looks at the moment that he'll be taken in the second round, and I wouldn't be opposed to us taking him there. He's got the look of an outstanding NFL running back, and pairing him with Drake would make our running back corps one of the best in the league immediately, in my opinion. Another great option would be Sony Michel from Georgia University, another incredibly explosive back. He has the look of an all-purpose NFL back, and paired with Nick Chubb, they were the greatest rushing attack in college football. Sony Michel has got speed and power. He's the full package, and he showed that he could do a much better job than than Nick Chubb getting around the edge, especially against Alabama. Alabama or Georgia, definitely Alabama more than Georgia is the closest thing to an NFL defense in college. So Sony Michel definitely showed that he could make an impact in the league because he ran all over the Alabama defense and showed that he has the physical makeup to get it done in the NFL. So Sony Michel would absolutely love him on the team. Ronald Jones and Sony Michel are definitely my two favorite guys outside of the two first round prospects in Saquon Barkley and Darius Geis. Royce Freeman is another option. He's more of just a north-south bruiser. He had a tremendous amount of production at Oregon, but his workload was incredibly heavy, and you always have to take that into account when looking at college running backs. He definitely would be a nice power back to have. He's a big dude. I think he's like 5'11", 230 pounds, so it would be welcome on the team, but he isn't one of my favorites in the draft, and I'd rather have a different kind of power back. He doesn't seem to have much creativity out there, like he was kind of just a straight line runner. So Royce Freeman, I'm not big on him, but I want to be opposed to him being on the team and getting drafted somewhere in probably the third or fourth round. But his production will probably get him drafted in the late second to third round. Rashad Penny from San Diego State, another option. I absolutely love this guy. Had a tremendous amount of production at San Diego State. 220-pound back that can get it done in a number of ways. He's got an absolutely elite ability to make guys miss and runs through arm tackles with ease. Runs through a lot of tackles with ease. Does a great job lowering his shoulder when running through guys or finishing off runs. He did average 31.9 yards per kick return over 3 years at San Diego State, so obviously is dangerous and has great value as a kick returner. That's just to go along with his dynamic running ability. Thinking he's going to go in round 2 or 3, and Rashad Penny, I think he ran for over 2,000 yards this season, so just a tremendous amount of production. And Rashad Penny, love that dude. Pretty similar to Sony Michel in the kind of back they are. Mark Walton, out of Miami, 5'9", or 10. I think he's 5'9", explosive scat back. He'll probably run a 4.3 at the combine. He's short, but he's got a strong, stout build. He catches the ball well out of the backfield, and I think that's where he'll thrive most at the next level. Don't see him as much as a in between the tackles kind of runner. Who knows? He might prove me wrong, but he reminds me a lot of Amir Abdullah. So yeah, that's my comparison. Mark Walton, he'd be very welcome in our running back corps. You can never have enough explosive weapons on offense, and Walton definitely would contribute right away. He had multiple home runs for Miami, for the U. So Mark Walton would be a great explosive back for us. Nick Chubb, one of my other favorites, is a true power back, 228 pounds, and it really shows there out in the field. He really deals out. He really deals out a huge amount of damage out there on the field to defenders. He's not as explosive as Sony Michel, but he is no slouch. Like, he definitely has enough speed to get it done in the NFL. I see him as a third or fourth round prospect. I think he'd pair well with Drake, being the Thunder to Drake's Lightning. But his injury history does worry me, and he isn't the same special player he once was, like a couple years ago. Nick Chubb definitely did look like a first or second rounder, but after his leg injury, I think it was a knee injury. I'm not completely sure what his injury was. Forgive me, I can't remember at the moment. But Nick Chubb, he'd be an awesome power back for us, and just killed it this year for Georgia University with Sony Michel, and Nick Chubb. Would absolutely love him on the team. One of my favorites, and has been for a while now. Looking at all these college running backs. Another great running back to add to the list of potential Dolphins draftees is Kerryon Johnson out of Auburn. He's a powerful back that has the speed to match. He was great at Auburn this past year. He ran for just under 1,400 yards and 18 touchdowns this past season. He's just a great all-around back who's just incredibly explosive, and he'd be great sharing carries with Kenyon Drake. He's listed as 6 foot, but he looks much bigger than that out there in the field. Like, he plays much bigger than 6 foot. Like, he looks like at least like 6'1", 6'2". Don't know if that's because of his build or what, but he looks like he can definitely handle the punishment of the NFL, and would be a great contributing back for any team, but possibly the Dolphins. Another great guy is Bar Scarborough. It's definitely one of my favorites coming out of the draft this year. He was going to go back to Alabama, but something happened with his eligibility. I can't quite remember now, but he wasn't eligible to go back to his 4th year at Alabama, so got no choice but to enter the draft. Probably a 4th or 5th rounder at this point, but I really love what I saw from him this season. He cut down from 240 pounds in 2016 to 228 this year, or around probably 230, to try and become a quicker, more agile back. And you definitely could see a difference. Like, he was definitely was much quicker on his feet and made guys miss much more than previous seasons. But that's not his game. He truly is a power back who can just run over dudes. Incredibly similar to Derrick Henry. And he definitely does match him in athleticism. Like, he's got that ability to get out to the outside. Not quite as, doesn't have the same lateral agility as Derrick Henry, but definitely has similar physical traits. So Bar Scarborough be another great Alabama running back, to pair with Kenyon Drake, another Crimson Tide player. But those two paired together would be absolutely awesome, Scarborough and Drake. So Scarborough, would love him in the 4th round, especially with our 2nd, 4th round pick. Another guy, Josh Adams, another big dude, 6'2", 220 pounds. I was surprised by his production. Notre Dame, I had no idea he had that level of production. I think he ran for about 1,500 yards a season, or 1,600. But Josh Adams, one of those guys who needs space to get to his top speed. He was clocked out in a couple games at getting up to 22 miles per hour, so he's no slouch. Like, he's an incredibly quick dude, and he had that great Notre Dame offensive line to run behind with Quentin Nelson and Mike McGlinchey. Josh Adams really can make it happen between the tackles, catching the ball. He's a big dude. He's probably a 5th or 6th rounder at this point, maybe a 4th rounder. But Josh Adams, even though he's similar in stature to Bo Scarborough, they're definitely different backs that get it done in their own way. Another great guy that I almost forgot about is Kalen Ballage out of Arizona State. He's a big dude, 6'3", 230 pounds. I was watching some of his tape yesterday, and did watch it earlier on in the year, but he's an explosive dude. I reckon he's gonna kill it at the combine. Like, he's gonna run incredibly quick. He's gonna jump high, and he's gonna kill it in the bench press. I reckon in the high 20 rep range. But yeah, incredibly explosive for his size. I really think he's going to be a much better running back on the next level. And obviously, the guy who compares best to is Latavius Murray. He played for the Vikings this year. Exactly the same size, and they look to have the same kind of explosiveness. And Latavius Murray was awesome once Dalvin Cook went down, especially towards the end of the year in the playoffs. Latavius Murray really put that, along with Jerry McKinnon, but Latavius Murray was a lead back, and he really put that Vikings run game on his shoulders. and did an awesome job. But Kellen Ballage, would love him on the Dolphins. That kind of size and its speed and power, and at 230 pounds, it's something you definitely have to have a look at. And I really think he's going to climb draft boards, similar to Obi Melifonwu. Like no one, like last year's draft, nobody really knew who Melifonwu was, and he graded out like an absolute beast at the combine. I think Kellen Ballage is going to do the same thing and at least hop up 1 or 2 rounds. But would love him on the Dolphins. Haven't seen that kind of size at running back for a long time. Maybe not even ever in Dolphins history. Not sure who the biggest running back is in Dolphins history, but I'm sure Kellen Ballage would be one of them, and he'd be an awesome pairing with Kenyon Drake. Okay, so that's it. There are another couple of honourable mentions, but that's 9 guys, so I thought that would be enough. John Kelly from Tennessee, another good guy, similar to Mark Walton. Haven't really watched much tape of him, but he looks to be another talented guy. So John Kelly, another option there, but I haven't really watched him extensively at this point. But yeah, that's it. All these dynamic dudes would be great on the Dolphins, but I'd love the guys who I mentioned up the top the most. Ronald Jones, Sony Michel, Rashad Penny. Those guys would absolutely love on the Dolphins, and I'm telling you right now, if we paired any of those guys with Kenyon Drake, we would have just an awesome dynamic running game, and it would be one of the best in the league. You just got to trust me, guys. Having 2 dynamic running backs is the way to go. The Saints, as I said, and the Falcons really showed that you can transform your offense having 2 guys that can just get it done. So that's it for this one. Let me know if you agree, or if you think that having 2 running backs who can get it done at an even level isn't the way to go. But yeah, make sure to give me that feedback. Like the video and subscribe. And as always, fins up, baby.